And thanks for tuning in to the InnerAnimal Experience with your boy Sam Primo, hanging out with my boy Scott Davis. This is the third podcast. So the third time's the charm, like they say, not only with the podcast, but with the stem cells and everything else. No more errors today.
We are literally set up.
We are some high-tech rednecks is what they would classify this as.
What would go is, what would say, rednecks or coon asses, though?
I'm more of a coon ass. I claim to be coon ass more than redneck.
You know, a lot of people think that that's a derogatory term.
I got a lot harsher words to think of whenever a derogatory term comes up, you know.
What's the most uncomfortable thing? Because I know people do have to treat you differently whenever you're in public who don't know you. Like, I mean, for instance, you just came to the house and I caught myself. You were sitting there just taking out your machine again. And I'm like, motherfucker, got it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shit, I got it figured out by now. I think the most annoying thing that you could do for me, I mean, the most aggravating thing people have done in public is like either running to come help put together the chair, which I get it. It's just them trying to be good-hearted or nice, but it slows me down more than it speeds me up. So in some circumstances, like door opening, like whenever someone will open the door and stand in the door, like trying to hold it open, I'm like, bro, you could have just like stepped aside and I would have just got the door way easier. But like I said, I don't necessarily think of it any sort of way other than just people just trying to be nice or, you know, courteous. I used to take big offense to it, but as I got older, I kind of understood like where they were coming from. It's like, I don't think people reach out to help because they think you're lacking, but they just want to help. So
I was about to say, man, because I'll hold that door open if you're about 2 minutes away walking in.
Oh, I mean, shit, as long as it's, you know, opening, the door's open and you're not standing in it, because then it's like, hey, bro, move. Because, like, the wheelchair, bro, it's wide, so to get through a door, bro, I need the whole doorway.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the smart move would be to hold the door open from the outside if you're going to hold it.
You would think.
Now that people have seen a lot of your social media, have you noticed that people will just be like, all right, like I did, oh, that motherfucker got it, I don't need a...
Well, I mean, I guess the reaction I get from people that's like see me on social media or whatever, it's actually really funny, especially locally. The people that just see it online and don't know me personally, people act like I'm a celebrity, which is like, it's really cool or whatever. But I don't know, I just feel like a normal guy. I'm literally just a man trying to...
They're like, that's the guy who knows Scott Davis.
Oh, no, they're like, is that Sam Primo? Like, someone asked the other day, one of my therapists, or the lady that works at the therapy, they were like, have you ever heard of Sam Primo? And this and that. And the lady was like playing dumb, like, oh, no, who's that? And they were talking about me like I'm some kind of like myth or a legend. And it's like, no, I'm just a normal guy, just trying to outwork this situation I put myself in. And I guess that's starting to draw a few eyes, to say the least.
Well, you have to have a certain type of swagger, too, now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a lot more confident.
Yeah, I've noticed that since the first time you ever came over. And we did that first episode, the first two, actually. I noticed that your confidence level has definitely went from here to fucking here.
Well, I think a lot of that's due to the fact that I'm kind of like growing in Christ in my understanding that like if God created me for this purpose, whatever that may be, and has grace with all my flaws, then I should too. Because for a while it's like, man, I'd put so much effort in the gym, you know, working out in front of those mirrors, and the confidence slowly came, but not nearly as much as it has with like getting in the Bible, starting to learn. It's just like a lot more confidence in the direction of my life and a lot less anxiety or stress about the timeline, because I've started to find that like the more that I give it to God and I'm just like, look, I don't know how this is gonna sort itself out, it just does. And the crazier that it gets, like the Dustin meeting, like, bro, I literally like had a dream about it, started shooting it into the universe, and then sure enough, something happened, and like from it, I've made a lot of good friendships. Dustin, one of them, like he's such a humble dude. It was really cool to meet like a superstar, like super famous person, and just know that he's just a normal guy from Lafayette, literally, and like sitting across from the table from him. If I didn't watch UFC, I wouldn't know he's a professional fighter. He's not like a Conor McGregor where he's got to, you know, shove it down your throat that he's like a fighter and this and that. Like he's just normal. He's humble, and that gave me a perspective of like, okay, as I get to that superstardom or whatever, like as I grow and, you know, the audience, I guess, it's like to continue to stay true to my morals myself, and like because life humbled me, dog. So like I'll never be the one to brag and boast, but I also don't. I don't deny it anymore. For a long time, people would say, try to talk me up, and I would like kind of like make it. I would downplay myself, and I caught myself doing that, and I was like, you know what? No, like they're not saying anything wrong. Like I am doing some pretty wild stuff. To me, it's just everyday life, but for everyone else, it doesn't seem like that. So it's pretty cool.
I tell you, Dustin Poirier is probably the most down to earth guy you'll meet, and he remembers you whenever he meets you, and he acknowledges you. I mean, he'll go up to you and shake your hand before you go up to him. I mean, I just think that a guy like that is the best representation of Lafayette that there is.
Yeah, and man, that's something that I aspire to be, like a good representation of Lafayette.
So, tell us about how we got to this point, Mr. Samuel Primo. Tell me about the third round of stem cell, man.
Dude,
you just gave me a look, bro.
Dude, round 3 was definitely it was a life changer.
Let's break this down though. What happens whenever you're doing stem cells? So walk us through the start of the day, the first day you're going.
I mean, it's a week process that I actually have a YouTube video of the whole process.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the whole like road trip. But long story short, you go there, they'll extract a bunch of blood and bone marrow, and then they mix it together. And from my understanding, they get the white blood cells and the platelets from the white blood cells. They infuse it with the bone marrow extracted from, the stem cells that are extracted from my bone marrow. They fuse that together. And so whenever I go in, not the following day, the day after, I go in, and what they do is like they send some shots of Dextrol or whatever it is. They send shots up and down my injured area, so along my spinal cord, all around in my back. They send the shots in, and then they come back in and send more shots of the stem cells, because stem cells, like the way that they work is they try to convert bad inflammation into good inflammation, because that's how our body heals itself, through inflammation. So in theory, sending inflammation or getting all my spinal cord area, like getting that area all inflamed, they're going to send the stem cells in. So in theory, my body's like in super heal mode. Anything that's disconnected or any kinks in the line, theoretically, will get, it's going to help with that healing process and give my body the best ingredients to heal. As we're approaching year 7 of paralysis, something that I was deemed unable to overcome, I walked 1,200 feet the other week. So like now I'm solidified, and my faith is completely put into this more like, or my faith is unwavering towards this more than it's ever been my entire life or journey, because like I've seen too many dreams that match the real life accounts that have been happening, that it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know how this is gonna look, but I know it's gonna happen, and I'm not stopping anywhere short of it. So like, to get the full recovery is one thing, and that's kind of what I set out on this journey to do. But now I'm finding that the reason I've been put on this journey is to not only show people what happens whenever you outwork your adversities in life and overcome them, but it's also going to be to, like I said, create a resource hub, in a sense, for other people with paralysis, with spinal cord injuries, because your nervous system is a very finicky thing. It's very hard to replace or work on, because, some of these injuries are so far, or the extent of some of these injuries is so severe that you're unable to fix it. I want to be able to not only find the resources and tools that help me overcome this, but be able to offer turnaround and be able to give people that exact same thing. Like the stem cells, for instance, I would love to be able to get my buddy LB out there, get him sponsored for a round of stem cells. But I want to be able to kind of be like the Mr. Beast for the recovery world, giving people opportunities that they never had or, previously thought were unobtainable.
Yeah, I want to go back to Don Michael. He's a kid with the red hair, right?
Yeah.
Kid seems like he's pretty badass, man.
That dude's a savage. He's got the heart of a lion, and he doesn't even know it. The doctors originally told him he would be lucky to see it past 15, and he just turned 19 a couple months ago. Dude's still kicking ass, working harder than almost anybody I know. And literally for people like me that like people look up and say I'm inspiring, I look up to people like Don Michael that are literally facing odds that look way worse than mine, and he just shows up every single day, puts in the work. You put your head down and grind, and like Don Michael's a very good visualization for that. So if y'all aren't already, go follow my boy Don Michael.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do too that your support group that you started is a big factor as to why a lot of people are, so how do you put this, pulled towards you, and it's all people going through not similar, but kind of
Similar in a sense.
similar in a sense, not the same thing, but it's really a cool thing to see that all these people are just making everybody else who sits here and complains about things, financial stuff, all that stuff. I told you the other day, I was like, dude, my old company, lawsuit with them. All right, owed a lot of money, but I'm like, do I really have a healthy family? I'm healthy, and I'm sitting there complaining, and they have badass motherfuckers who have been dealt a bad card in some way that are sitting here not giving the shit, complaining about anything, and actually working. Like, what do I have to complain about?
Exactly, bro. And that's the message I hope that I can get across the masses is like, we're so blessed, bro. Like, we have nothing to complain about. I don't have anything to complain about. But I think sometimes, like, with really hard circumstances come about, it's hard to remember that. And I mean, that's why I wanted to create this support group, because I mean, at one point I was I lost all hope, and that was detrimental. That was far more severe than the injury initially was itself. Like, losing complete hope in your ability to do anything with it, that is way worse. And to feel alone in that, dude, that's a nightmare. So I was like, you know what? I'm starting to get some really crazy connections, and so I'm gonna try to utilize that and help put my people on, because like I don't feel sorry for them, but I empathize because I understand. I know how hard it is. So yeah, it's like, it's badass to give like that insight. If I would have had the knowledge and insight I'm able to kind of turn over and give to these people when I was fresh into my injury, I'd probably be running right now. But I had to learn and grow, and the trials and tribulations make the character. But yeah, I got really, really big plans and hopes for the future of that spinal cord injury group. Huge shout out to Damon over at Train Unique and my boy Drew, because they're helping. Dude, Train Unique has been a freaking game changer for me, and just giving the access to all the others, because like, man, some of these cats are getting to the point where insurance is ready to drop them, and that's a scary feeling when your medical professionals are about ready to cut the ties, with you. So knowing that they have us as their backup, it's a lot more, provides a little bit of hope.
Is that a common is that a common feat that people have to overcome in that condition? Is insurance potentially dropping them?
Oh, for sure. So typically, to my understanding, like, insurance for these sorts of injuries, if the doctors deem that you're like more than likely not going to reach a full recovery, they're going to get you like to a sustainable life, whether that look like, getting you comfortable in your wheelchair, getting you ready to drive, getting you able to clean, do stuff around your house, whatever it looks like. They get you to a certain point, and whenever they deem that you've reached your max potential, insurance stops paying. So the only reason they started paying again for me is because, I mean, dude, I came from, I couldn't kick out my leg to walking before insurance picked back up. So now therapy is getting covered twice a week. And my buddy Scott, that had been training me for like a year on his own, like, now my buddy Scott McBride with the therapy center over there by Costco, he like a mutual friend had shown him some of my videos, and he was like, oh dude, I see this dude at the gym all the time. So he reached out to me, and he was like, hey man, look, I'm Scott McBride, I'm a physical therapist, yada yada, like, would you want to come train with me? And I was like, bro, insurance cut that years ago. He was like, I wasn't asking about insurance. So dude trains me once a week on his lunch break. And from there, like, he taught me, like, whenever I started to learn how to stand, he helped me progress from standing maybe a few seconds at a time when we met to like walking. The farthest me and him have walked is almost 700 feet in a session, which is mind blowing to me and him.
So let's get into this aspect of it. What is next?
Well, actually, I have the opportunity to move to Florida out there by Miami and train with some of the best spinal cord injury trainers in the country at Barwis. So the reason it's so advanced over the therapy I'm already receiving is, one, the time restraints. Like over there, I could go train 3 or 4 hours, however long my body can withstand. Whereas at physical therapy, I'm only allotted, an hour at a time, which is great. I get a lot done in an hour, but dude, if I get 3 or 4 hours of that same, intensified care, it's going to be dangerous, dude. And like, they just have more resources, tools, equipment. So the only kickback is I have to find the funding to travel and live out in Florida for about 6 to 7 weeks, which, dude, that's going to be well over 10 grand. So I also have a GoFundMe. If you guys would be willing or interested to, contribute anything or even just share if you care, would be super awesome. And yeah, one way or another, I'm going to work my way there. I'm also doing edits. If y'all have any videos you want edited, let me know. We got a bunch of new InnerAnimal gear. So really any way to support is super appreciated. But I mean, man, if it comes down to it, I'll wheel my happy ass over to Florida and sleep under a tent if that's what it came down to. But I don't think it will.
I got a hammock.
I mean, hammocks are nice.
Dude, I love my hammock.
Especially with like the bugs. I don't know how it is like trying to sleep over there.
You got Burmese pythons you got to worry about in Florida.
I'm not scared, dog. I'm a fucking gorilla. I'm made for the jungle.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something. You know what you ain't made for is a Nile crocodile.
I'm really just going to go out there and hopefully represent Louisiana well, give them a good image. Because, man, I mean, I've had to face a lot of adversity, and overcoming that is going to be really epic. So being able to go out there and show them that grit that we come with, they're going to understand why we're different down south.
Bro, I don't think that metric about the worst state applies, because if you go to any other state, you ain't going to find nicer people.
No, the hospitality is, and people are genuine down here.
We hit on the stem cells. We hit on round 3, man. We dove into a lot about our state, which is something I think we need to dive into a lot more, building on like the stereotypes. I think it's very funny, a lot of the stereotypes that people have about people down here.
It is.
And I think Dustin is doing a good job of kind of him and DC. Well, DC lives in California now.
I'm about to say, I didn't even know DC was like anything about him really until the past like maybe a year or two ago. I just found out about him. But I mean, his fighting prime career was like a little bit before I was even in the UFC. Like I was still in school cutting up, not even paying attention to TV. So
I still hate John Jones because of DC.
Dude, John Jones is a savage. I don't know. He earned some respect from me because like he was doing some shady shit, but like John was at least man enough to
He's not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT.
No, I wouldn't call him the GOAT.
Because here's the thing. In order to be the GOAT, you have to never test positive for performance-enhancing drugs. It's the same concept as Barry Bonds. Given you can make an argument that Barry Bonds had a Hall of Fame career before his steroid usage. But then again, you're in a combat sport taking PEDs. I draw a fine line there. And he beat DC whenever he was on PEDs. But when I'm here to talk about UFC, even though
he was also got tested positive for cocaine. So if he's like had a drug partying binge, weekend and still won, kind of, I don't know. I got to give him a little respect, even though it's not good. I give him some respect though, because like imagine going have a party, a weekend of partying, and then you got to go fight a professional fighter and you still win. That's crazy.
It might depend on how long it's been since he's taken the drug.
True, but I mean like PEDs, yeah, of course they could enhance, the strength, intensity, whatever. But it's mainly for recovery, and I mean, if I'm putting my body through that kind of ringer, like I would definitely not against it. Like I mean,
I'm talking about steroids.
Yeah, I'm about to say and that's all steroids are mainly. Well, actually, no. I think all steroids is to enhance the recovery rate. Facts, bro.
Not anabolic.
Look it up, dude. I promise you. I feel like I've never taken it. I've taken peptides and stuff, but I mean, because really just giving your body the best ingredients to heal. But I don't know.
But you're not going to punch somebody in the face for a living.
Well, fuck that. And I mean, those type of drugs mess with so many hormones and your chemical balances in your brain. That's why I wouldn't want to get anything like serious. Anything past peptides, I'm out. Like I'm good.
I don't know, man. It's just I have a hard time. I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I will say it's a hard time respecting somebody who does that, knowing it's a combat sport. I am biased again because of DC, and both Dustin and DC are from Lafayette, not Baton Rouge, so they'll probably say go Cajuns too. I'm just saying. But man, I'm excited for Dustin's fight.
Same, bro.
I am excited and nervous extremely at the same time. because wrestlers and any person who's from the last name with the country Stan is like, stay the fuck away from.
I'm about to say, yeah, the boys look like some serious
All
fighters.
they do is eat, pray, and train.
Hey, that's a pretty good life to live, it sounds like.
Not whenever Ramadan hits.
No, yeah, you're right. A whole month of fasting.
No. You know how hard that is to do around here?
I mean, I haven't gone many other places, but I think it'd be hard for me anywhere. But I'm really a fat kid at heart. Like, if I didn't work out for hours and hours each day, I'd probably be an obese little rolling around little pudge. I still got a little pudge, but I just wear bigger shirts.
I told you, dude, it looks like you actually grew an inch or two.
I hit a growth spurt. I've been eating my green beans.
I'm serious, dude. Like, your torso looks a lot.
Well, I think it's my posture has been improving a lot because working with Rise chiropractor, they've been doing a lot of adjustments and helping me start to try to like recorrect my spine because I've developed scoliosis from the muscles atrophying and poor posture in this, wheelchairs. So I'm a lot more mindful about it. Try to be at least, and I'm starting to work on the little like posterior chain muscles that help with balance and sitting up correctly and stuff like that. And dude, honestly, like the poor posture. Or I guess let me reword that. After the stem cell treatments, like I feel like I've developed a little bit more feeling, sensation, things like that. And one of them is pain, and that's very often like so. Poor postures, sitting too long, not stretching, simple things that normal people really just forget about is super detrimental because at the end of the day, I'll be in excruciating pain if I don't, do my pressure shifts, my stretches, things like of that nature. And if I'm sitting all slouched over and stuff, it makes for a really painful night when I go to lay down to sleep.
So one thing, since we haven't seen you in a while too, I want to say, damn proud of you too, kid.
I appreciate it, man. I've been trying, dog.
You've been kicking ass, dude.
Yeah, thank you, man. I went through a couple dark, spells throughout it, but like, so I'm coming out on the other side. Like, shit. Whenever I met Dustin, the Max, I was like I was in a slump, like a mental slump, cause dude, it's so scary. Like, not the circumstance or the deemed probability of me overcoming it. The scariest part is like to know how much potential I have and to see the progress and the gains being made, but like financially to try to keep that all afloat and thrive financially in order to pay for all that was like it's so impossible to me. It's like, bro, I could work 8 hours a day or I could work on me and my body for that 8 hours a day. That's what I choose all day, every day. But how long is that sustainable for? And so, like, man, I was starting to get really in my head. But I don't know. I think not only, like, seeing the community pull together in order to help me because they see how much I'm working for it, that really relieved a lot of that. And, like I said, like, my pursuit in Christ has, like, really strengthened my faith in all this. So that drastically changed. Like, bro, meeting my bodybuilding coach, Brian, shout out C620 Nutrition, dude, completely changed my life because like he's a very big leader, I guess, in the church community. Like he does our men's group once a week, and he's just like he's a gym bro that could break down the Bible and help me understand. And it's like, oh wow, okay. So I'm being able to look at it in that lens and understand, dude. It's awesome.
I was asking my girlfriend about this because she does a Bible study. Is Bible study basically you're talking about a certain quote and your perception of what it means, your interpretation of it?
In a sense, yeah.
Because I've never done one.
Yeah, it's like, we all meet there, kind of all waiting for the other guys to pull up. We'll, shoot the shit. See, any cool God stories or, wins or losses throughout the week if anyone wants to share. And then he'll read whatever verse we're talking about, or chapter, I think it's verse. And yeah, kind of break it down, and he's able to help me understand. Because, like, bro, reading the Bible in one ear, out the other, I never understood it growing up. My parents would bring us to a Catholic church and everything, and I never understood it. So it's like I was never against God, but I'm like, I don't get any of this book they're talking about. Mm-hmm. But now that he's able to break it down and put into words that I could understand and wrap my head around, I'm like, whoa, like you really open your eyes on everything. And especially the way that some things are playing out in the Bible, the way that they're playing out in the real world, it's like, I don't know. I no longer believe in coincidences at this point.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you can take a lot of things that happen and point towards any religious doctrine and say it's cohesive. You know, I don't know. I think sometimes things are just coincidence, but I think that's what makes it interesting because at the end of the day, we don't know.
Oh, you gonna find out, I guess.
It's been a hell of a. We actually stuck on topic this time.
I was about to say that's awesome, dude. It took us 3 tries, but the third time's a charm for sure.
We stuck on topic. I'm proud of us, man. I'm proud of us.
Savage shit, level up loading. Y'all better stay tuned with the InnerAnimal Experience and your boy Scott Davis with the Unwoken podcast.
Drop that GoFundMe one more time.
Yeah, definitely. So if anybody would be interested or willing to help share or donate, contribute to the GoFundMe, it would be a huge help, and I'd really appreciate the support. I've only been able to come this far because of people's generosity. So in order for me to continue going farther and I work in this wheelchair, I think I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary and hopefully can get my way out to Florida. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what happens whenever I get around a bunch of trained professionals able to handle my intensity and teach me how to relearn my body. So if anyone would be willing or interested in helping with that, I'll drop the link below. And if you guys don't want to do that, I also have InnerAnimal gear at InnerAnimals.com, or just keep along with any of the social media. I'm almost monetizing on YouTube, so we'll pray that this podcast can get me there, so you'll run up that watch time, and let's make these big companies pay for it. Because look, it's about to be a lot of marketing, or I'm gonna become the face of resiliency and willpower and the amazing things that God can do with our bodies. So,
and I will become the face of White Claw. Hey, I'm still boycotting Anheuser-Busch.
Bro, I really want to get an on-cloud dealer, on-cloud sponsorship, because I got so many funny commercials. I could be like, it feels like they're not even there. It's like I'm walking on clouds. Paralyzed guy, like, dude, I don't know, on cloud. If you see this, sponsor me. It'll take one pair of shoes. They're gonna last a while. I get really good mileage out of these shoes. Mine are like 5 years old. Swear to God. But I mean, I ain't replacing the car if it ain't got no miles on it. You know what I'm saying? So, but my Cadillac does have a lot of miles. So Cadillac hooked me up with a new V. You boy.
I know a pretty great car salesman you can go see too now.
Oh, I need it for free though. So, see, yeah, that's where it gets a little tricky. Actually, I'm going to talk to a car lot next week about that. Them sponsoring me a car.
Well, folks, the weather's about to get really bad out here, so we're gonna get Samuel out of here. Like I said, y'all check out Sam's GoFundMe, check out InnerAnimal Experience. Please, if you can give anything we can do to help get this man to Miami, let's get him to Miami.
InnerAnimal out, baby.
I've never once asked for your thoughts and prayers on this show because I'm still myself on my way back to a spiritual journey. However, y'all know Panda, and as most of you probably have been following his journey on Instagram. Panda has stage 3 testicular cancer, and there is a GoFundMe available, but we would ask you, it's a very rare form, and he's doing chemo right now. Talked to him earlier. His count's down, but the tumor is right above his heart, so it's a rare form of the cancer that he has. So, folks, for the first time, I'm going to ask you, please keep Panda in your thoughts and prayers. And if you do have the ability to donate to the GoFundMe for him, that'd be very much appreciated. We are going to be coming out, Delta 3 Tactical will be coming out with some new lowers for the AR-15s with the logo on it, the Unwoken logo, and the Delta 3 Tactical logo, and a logo on the side that says fuck cancer, because fuck cancer. So, keep Panda in your prayers. Panda's going to keep kicking ass. He sends his love to all of you. And, hey, bro, you got this, man. I ain't got to tell you nothing you already know.